There's understandably a huge scanner on Babar Azam and the Pakistan cricket team as a whole right now, given that Babar was reinstated into the white ball captaincy just before the T20 World Cup, only for the side to once again suffer humiliation and not be able to progress past the group stages in a World Cup. Now, obviously, that has led to a lot of questions over whether or not the PCB made the right or wrong decision by actually going back to Babar Azam in the first place, and whether or not another sacking could very well be on the cards. What we do know, however, is that when push comes to shove, Babar himself is not really going to be making that call, even though he says that if it really came down to it, he would be clear with everyone and step down on his own. He was speaking after the game against Ireland, and there were obviously plenty of questions, more so on the negative side, given how badly Pakistan's campaign has gone. And he did reveal quite a few interesting things, including potentially throwing his team under the bus. I'm not kidding. Check it out for yourself. And let's first talk about the entire big debate. Will he leave captaincy? He says that if I have to leave the captaincy, I will announce it openly. But for now, I have not thought about it. It is eventually the PCB's decision. Now, the first part of his quote, I mean, to be fair, the last time he did quit captaincy, he was very open about it. He did, in fact, come out on social media and post a statement. But just a few months later, he was back in the captaincy hot seat anyway. But as he admits, I have not thought about it, and perhaps most revealingly says, eventually it is the Pakistan Cricket Board's decision. It's his way of saying, listen, come what may, I am not stepping aside. If the PCB wants to remove me, that's fine, but I am not going to be stepping aside. Now, you can say that's fair. I mean, he's just had one tournament back as captain, and there are plenty of changes that the team can make to ensure that they're more structured to playing a modern style of T20 cricket. But given that Pakistan is one of those nations where expectations are always high when it comes to international trophies, you would think that the least the captain could do is take a bit of responsibility for how badly the campaign has gone, right? Well, you'd be thinking wrong, because Babar actually chose not to do that when really questioned about it. He said, look, you can't put the blame on one person. The fault lies with all 15 players. As captain, my responsibility is to give feedback to the decision makers. Now, what he's basically saying is, look, you can say that the buck stops with me, but that's not really the case, guys. Cricket is a team sport. In fact, he did go on to say that I can't bat or bowl for everyone. And he's right about that. But inspiration for the team comes from the leader, and it's safe to say that Babar, the leader, has not been able to inspire his troops. More often than not, a very reactive captain, someone who looks to react to situations rather than preempt them and actually get ahead of the curve. And as he says, my responsibility is to give feedback to decision makers. No, sir. Your responsibility is to ensure that your team is inspired, they're tactically ahead of the curve, and they are in the best positions possible to be winning games. It's not just about giving feedback to decision makers so that changes can be made. Captaincy is much, much deeper than that. And as it turns out, it only got worse on there and thereafter, because, well, he ended up also calling out the players even more. Where he said that, look, T20 cricket has become very, very fast. We have to move with the times. With modern cricket, you must have game awareness, and as players, you have to step up. Now, this really is the case of the pot calling the kettle black, because whilst there's nothing wrong with what it is he's said, he's right in saying that T20 cricket has sped up considerably. You need to have more game awareness and you need to step up. But all of these same exact criticisms can be applied to not only Babar Azam, the captain, but also Babar Azam, the batter. Too often, he ends up playing accumulative cricket, which, whilst it does get him plenty of runs, scores down the team's scoring rate considerably, and he's batting at a strike rate maybe 120, 130, which is unacceptable in what he calls fast T20 cricket. So, whilst he's right that other batters need to step up and take a responsibility, the same can be said of him as well. Inevitably, this was a press conference that left more people with questions, or more questions than answers, because whilst Babar did give answers, more than anything else, he deflected the blame, refused to take responsibility, threw his players under the bus, and quite frankly said, I'm not going to be quitting as captain. That is the PCB's call if they want to remove me. It's an interesting note of defiance to be struck, especially given that the Pakistan team is now reeling from back-to-back failures in consecutive white ball tournaments. And it'll be very interesting to see if Babar can survive this and potentially be leading the team in the Champions Trophy, which is set to be hosted in Pakistan. If you ask me, I don't think they should have gone back to him. They should have stuck with Shaheen and let Babar the batter flourish. Now though, it's still not too late to course correct. Potentially they need to go back to Shaheen and remove the captaincy from Babar, but that's just my thought. What do you guys think? You can let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, follow us also on social media. We're on Instagram, X and Facebook. Don't forget to download the AajTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well, and stay tuned, plenty more coming your way. For now though, from my side, it is goodbye.